I'm Mauri Goins.
And I'm Dina Blair,
We're single moms,
living life for the first time, just like our kids.
real talk from the carpool to the crib.
A podcast about single motherhood
Black womanhood,
and everything in between.
and maybe we can make your way in the pickup line a little more bearable. Welcome to the pickup line. Today, Dina and I are going to be talking about Mom Bod Chronicles.
Yes, and this is a subject near and dear to my heart, just dealing with working with lots of women and prenatal and postnatal women. So getting some real perspective on what to expect as far as your body after having a baby.
Oh yeah, this is like a crazy topic for me because I think I have body dysmorphia anyway, right?
A lot of women do.
Yeah, I think so, and especially after having a baby, you just don't really know what to do with your body. My niece just had a baby and she's going through those motions right now.
Yeah. I think that we put a lot of expectations on ourselves. Well, we allow for society to put expectations on ourselves. And the reality of it is we all have different bodies. We all have different body types. And we set ourselves up in thinking that we're going to look like, pick somebody, that's on Instagram or on TV or whatever. And we think that that's our goal, when in reality, it's more about just like loving the body you're in.
Yeah. Because most women aren't going to be able to have a tummy tuck when they have a baby.
No.
Right. So that's not normal.
Mm-mm.
And I think what we're trying to do is reach normal people, like to understand what their body's going through first, second, or third child. Because with my first child, my body bounced back in like 2 days. I was like in my jeans in a week or two.
Right.
At Houston's having dinner with D. I was fine.
Yeah.
My second time when I was pregnant with Mariah, it was a little more difficult because I was more on the spotlight. Like her dad was playing and people were going to be watching.
Yeah.
And, I think that for women, that's one of the hardest things is bouncing back. It's like, oh, I had a baby. I got to bounce back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't happening over here. As I got older, it took me a little more time to bounce back. And, when you have more than one kid, that stomach, you could speak to that. Stretches.
Mm-hmm. So I think we don't give ourselves enough time to really let our bodies kind of get back. There's no like snapping back, right? A lot of things go into play when we're talking about getting our pre-baby bodies, and really our bodies don't go back to pre-baby. Our bodies go back to where our bodies are based on like our nutrition and our exercise and our sleep and all those things. And I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to snap back. And to your point is like just your lifestyle you felt like that required that.
Yeah, I felt like I was under pressure for that.
Same for me.
I felt like the world was looking at me. Like when I walked into a game after I had Mariah, I had to be like, oh, she needs to be at least back in her jeans. And I think culturally, different women, their bodies are just different, right? So
absolutely.
With Black women, like I had more hips and more butt and more, everything. And it was just a little harder for me because I gained the most weight with Gracie. But I think that it's different for everybody. Like I tell my niece, give yourself 30 days to do everything. 30 days to get your mind right, 30 days to get your body right, 30 days to get you right, 30 days to figure out who you like and who you don't like, right? What you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
And I think that, it's just hard. It's hard for women in general, even when you're not having a baby. Let's just be real. Even when you're not having a baby and we're talking about your body.
Yeah.
That's still difficult.
Yeah. Culturally different cultures think certain aspects of a woman's body is beautiful. So that just kind of depends. So I think as a woman, we just need to embrace who we are and how we are. But most importantly, like, let's just think about the whole miracle of having a baby.
Correct.
Like, let's just put that whole process into perspective.
Because you cannot TikTok labor. You can't TikTok
and then
labor.
After you have a baby, all the things that are happening in your body that your body has to do to kind of readjust. But then you're also basically taking care of another human being, not to mention you just like created another human being, but then you birth one, and then the things your body is doing like hormonally. And then if you're breastfeeding and, your body just kind of just doesn't naturally snap. It can take 6 months.
I think even into the hormones, I had fibroids at a very young age with all my children. With Gracie, it was my fibroids were really, really bad. I can remember my doctor saying it was like a rock garden, like just everywhere. And
it's painful.
And I didn't have a C-section, and I had her, and I felt like, oh my God, like, right, the fibroids took me into something completely different. My hormones were going crazy, which caused me to have a partial.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a whole nother conversation, from having babies with fibroids to trying to figure out how your body's going to go back. And then the fibroids in your stomach are showing.
Yeah.
Like, my stomach has never been the same. I don't
Yeah.
have stretch marks or anything like that, which shout out to collagen for that, because I don't know how I don't have stretch marks, right?
Yeah.
But my stomach has never been the same. Right, my stomach, and I thought back in the day I was fine, right? I had that little bitty waist, and maybe my stomach is great for my age, right?
Well, yeah.
But when young girls are pregnant and then they watch somebody like Kylie Jenner bounce back from that baby, and they're like, "Oh, this has got to be me," that's very unrealistic. So that's probably not happening.
The first thing is, like, let's appreciate our bodies where we are when we're there, right? So you talk about being younger. I took it for granted for sure.
Correct.
You know, the way my body was before I had babies.
Mm-hmm.
I remember a friend of mine, a fellow trainer, we would just sit on the steps at the gym where we were working. We'd like grab this little bit of whatever.
Oh,
and we'd be like, oh my gosh, we got to get rid of this, you know, whatever. And it's like, why are we that way? Like, and I say this to my clients now, I'm like, let's appreciate where you are right now. Like, love your body where you are right now, because literally, and there are studies that show this now, your thoughts have an effect on your body on
Correct.
a cellular level. Like, it does happen. It's like, so what can we do to change that narrative where we appreciate our bodies where we are, and then appreciate the fact that we're producing a life, like a life is growing inside of us. And then afterwards, having the body and giving ourselves the space to, you know, can I breastfeed? Is my baby going to latch on? Do I need to use formula? You know, I don't know about you, but after Kendall was born, my boobs were as big as my head. Like, you talk about engorgement.
That's another thing that never went back, right?
Huge.
That never went back.
Huge. Either. And it was painful. And it's like, but at the same time, we put the pressure on ourselves to like snap back. I didn't do that. Like, even though the industry that I'm in as a fitness instructor, personal trainer, wellness coach, all those things, I was so wrapped up in like, I just had a baby. My boobs are as big as my head. They hurt. I'm trying to breastfeed. Like,
and breastfeeding is excruciating. Like, right? Yeah. Nobody can tell you like, oh yeah, just breastfeed. It's like that. No, you got to work it, fix it,
have to work
do
on
it.
it.
You get crusted. You're in pain.
Oh gosh.
You have to eat a certain diet.
I forgot about that.
Yes, you got to eat a certain diet so that the baby's getting the nutrition, right?
Yes,
because
you can make milk.
Another thing people have to understand when having babies, like, you are that baby's vitamin device. Like, all the baby's getting all the nutrients from you when she's breastfeeding. Like, that baby's getting everything from you. So if you're not getting it for yourself and you're not doubling up on it, then you're depleting your own body because the baby's taking it.
Yeah.
Right? The baby's taking it.
Yeah, which means rest, water. And if you're exercising, you need to make sure you're like pumping and like all those things.
Just what exercises do you suggest for women that are pregnant? Like, if you're a young mom and you don't have your mom to tell you what to do or how to do it.
Yeah.
I remember when my niece was in labor, the doctor asked her, she goes, did you exercise before this?
Yeah.
Were you getting your exercise? And she's like, we don't want to talk about that right now, right? And she probably was just walking, but what do you recommend for young moms or older moms?
So when you're pregnant, once you find out you're pregnant, if you have not already been exercising, being pregnant is not the time to start exercising.
Correct.
Like, you can walk, of course, because you're walking, like we do that every day, but that's not the time to start a really intense exercise regimen at all. But after having a baby, I would definitely recommend Pilates, because Pilates is great for like pelvic floor stability, engaging your core, your abs, your glutes, your hips, your back. So I did Pilates, like after both of my babies, I would just get on the floor and do Pilates exercises, just like the basic stuff.
So are there any exercises you can do that not only just help with your body, but like your mental? Is that Pilates as well? Like, because a lot of times, you know, after having a baby, there's that postpartum. And again, with my 30 days to my niece, I know this sounds crazy, but I would give myself 30 days to do whatever, to make a decision, to figure life out, to decide anything within 30 days. And I think mentally, right after having a baby, you're all over the place.
Yeah.
Your hormones are all over the place.
Yeah.
You're just in emotional shambles.
Yeah. And
is there anything like, I'm not good at meditating because I talk too much. So I just can't meditate. I just can't meditate. Like, I'm not doing that.
I mean, I think it's important. And this isn't just like after having a baby, for moms in general, you know, just like be in the moment. like be in the moment where you are. Try
Mhm.
not to think so far ahead of like where you are right now in this moment, because it's new. If it's your first baby, it's brand new,
It is. It
you know?
is.
So like I remember when my first was born, when my second was born, I said to myself, when she's born, I'm going to take in that moment. I'm
Mhm.
not going to try and rush. I'm going to look at her face. I'm going to take her in when she's born. And the moment they give her to me, I'm just going to stare at her
It's that
face
face.
and
It's
just
that
like,
face and those toes.
yes.
It's those
And just be in
toes.
the moment. I remember her
Mhm.
little lip was just hanging over. Like she was just, and she's big bushy eyebrows, like my little Groucho Marx eyebrows. Like, so with my first, it was new, and I'm so like kind of driven. So I didn't really, and it was 21 hours of labor. I was just like,
Mhm.
get her out.
Mhm.
But I
I
don't feel
remember the
like,
last episode.
oh
You were
yeah,
like, "How does she come out? How does she come
I
out?
know
How does she get
she
out of
made
here?"
it.
Yeah, yeah. You're like, "How does she get out of
I
here?" Like
know.
what?
But I just feel like the first teaches you when you have your next, like what moments you just want to kind of hang on to. So I would say someone who's a woman who's pregnant or a mom is like their first time their kids going to preschool, or just find a way to just like, I know it sounds super corny, but just like cherish those
And
moments.
and like for me, it's like shout out to all those moms that had a C-section because I didn't have a C-section.
Me either.
I never had a C-section, but I did have a partial hysterectomy, which is a whole nother show. We're not
Yeah.
even gonna get into that right now. That's a
Mhm.
whole nother show.
Yep.
And healing from a C-section,
Mm-hmm.
having to hold that baby, having to feed that baby, having to walk around your house after you've been cut on like that,
Yep.
that right there is a shout out to every C-section mom
Yeah.
because
And that takes longer,
what?
like the healing process.
What?
You know?
Like we're going to talk about hysterectomies. We're going to talk about hormones and all those things later. But I want to just say that in itself, the healing process of a C-section is amazing.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
amazing.
I mean, anything C-section, tummy tuck, just had a baby. Like, if you're talking about workouts, I believe that Pilates is one of the best things because you can take that foundation and it goes across the board with any type of exercise you're doing. Like, if you're
Right.
doing the breath is different than yoga, but still you can take it there. If you're doing weight training, you still want to engage your abs. Like, it goes across the board. So I think that Pilates is something great for
So
moms to do.
Is it a Kegel? What is it?
Kegel exercise.
Okay, so
whatever.
let's
Potato,
talk about
potato,
that.
tomato, tomato.
Let's talk about that. Do those work?
I think so. Yeah.
Why?
Absolutely. Because you're engaging your pelvic floor. You're breathing, you're engaging your pelvic floor, and there's a muscle that wraps around your body
But
called
that
the
helps you with
transverse
your bladder and your
abdominis.
kidneys as well, right?
All that.
Okay,
Transverse
correct.
abdominis holds your abdominals in, holds your guts in, basically. It's a stabilizing muscle. So the only way to work it is to hold it in.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all part of Pilates. But it's not just that. Like, you could be driving in your car holding your transverse abdominis in.
Oh my God.
We'll call it TVA.
Okay, right, man.
TVA for short.
That's a short. That's a short.
TVA for short.
That's a short.
That's my nerd side.
Yeah, I remember Una when I was at Una, and she's like, "Oh, I think you should do squats a little more." I'm like, "Okay, you got it. I'm gonna squat a little more because I want all this to be held in." And when you're still worried about. I don't care. Let me just say this: I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you had a baby. I don't care if you didn't have a baby. I don't care if you have a dog. You're still worried about your body. You're worried about your body even more after childbirth. You're worried about your body even more, to me, after 40. Like, you're just like,
when you say worried, what do you mean by worried?
I think worried is just like, I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to be able to wear my jeans. Like, I'm not in competition with my daughters on wearing my jeans, right? Like, I'm not going nowhere with Mariah trying to outdo Mariah in my jeans or have a Mariah body, because I know that's not happening. I'm not trying to be Gracie when it comes to the sports world. I know that I'm getting older. I know that I'm growing. I know that I just still want to feel
so
good
you want to
and
be the
look
best
good.
version of yourself.
100%.
The best version of yourself.
100%.
And I think that's great.
Yeah.
That's
100%.
empowering.
100%.
And that's where I think women should be after having a baby, while they're pregnant. Like, be the best version of yourself. What does that look like? How do you show up for yourself every day?
And I think for some women, it's a time constraint, because you have women that go to work for 8 hours a day. After they get off of their paternity leave, they have to work, cook, find time to get that exercise in, find time to find some time for me, or find time to just get in a 30-minute walk.
Well,
get in a 20-minute exercise.
I blame that on our industry, on the fitness and the wellness industry, because we've brainwashed people into thinking that they have to work out for an hour or 45 minutes, and they got to be dragging themselves out of the gym, and has to be in the gym. They have to be dripping with sweat. And it's like, that's not real. Like, it doesn't have to be that way. Like, if you're not training for a competition, You know what I mean? Like it's not like that for everyone. And so here's the deal. It's like it's individual.
Correct.
There's not like a one size fits all approach to any of
Mm-hmm.
this. So this is all general information. But generally speaking, if you're a mom who's working and you have kids,
Mm-hmm.
like just find time for yourself, even if it's 5 minutes
Correct.
while you're
Which
cooking
is
dinner. You've done this.
Me. I'm a
You,
treadmill queen.
yeah,
I mean, I'm gonna get a walk in. I'm gonna get
you
my
are.
walk on.
You are.
I don't care what
Yeah.
anybody says, but I think me getting my walk in helps me mentally.
It does.
It creates these endorphins that I
100%.
absolutely need, right? It saves me on wine, but it helps me mentally. It does. It saves me on my wine time. It's my time to get away, recharge, refresh. I can remember dropping the kids off. You know this from talking on the pickup line, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would drop the kids off and I would head to that park.
Yes, you walked
And I would walk that park.
Yeah.
I would walk, I would pray, I would just let it all out,
Yeah.
right? It was my time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't never, until you, very big on weights.
Yeah.
Right? Now I've gone to trainers with all my kids, like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be Rambo. It's not happening. But you've told me like a couple hand weights, like just a couple squats, a couple doing this, like 30 minutes, just get 30 minutes in. I remember one time you were like, why are you on the treadmill that long? Because I thought the treadmill that long was going to make a difference.
Like one equates the other. But let's rewind for a second, because you talked about when you would take the time to walk, and you listed like 3 things you do when you're walking. So it wasn't just about the exercise piece. It was like a time for prayer. It's a time for meditation. It's a time for just kind of hormonal harmony. Like all these things happen when you take that time for yourself, and it's empowering.
Yeah.
Because you took the time for yourself. And now we talked about this in another episode, is like, if your cup is full, then you're able to give to your children and everyone else around you.
100%.
Right? We said, like, on the airplane, who do they say give the mask to first? You put the mask on and then give the mask to your kids, right?
And it's also good to let your kids, because we live in a nation full of processed food. Like, right? Even though we think we're eating really good food at Whole Foods, right? Even though we think we're eating really good and it's Whole Foods, everything's great, we don't know. Right? We live in a nation full of, I call it a microwave nation. Like quick, drive through. Let's get it. And those things aren't really good for you. So when your kids see you exercise, they want to exercise. Like if I'm at the park walking, I could take Mariah and Gracie with me to walk. Like D did everything with me. D was like my right-hand man. He did everything with me. Like, right? And I think it's important to show your kids a healthy lifestyle and a healthy way to live. And even when you're pregnant and you first have your baby, if you find another mom, I don't know, there should be some type of group.
That's
like
true.
Moms that work out together, moms that take their babies together, moms that do the stroller together. It was
like stroller strides back in the day.
Because you're afraid to leave your baby alone at a month old.
Oh, yeah.
But with the way the strollers are now, we talked about that too. You can load them up in the stroller, get you a 30-minute walk in.
Yeah.
And you're good.
Yeah.
And it relieves so much tension, so much pressure, so much anxiety, right? That's just creating endorphins that make you happy regardless.
Yeah. So I do want to touch on like the type of exercise, right? Like Pilates is not cardio. And so many, I think we've in my industry, we're like cardio. And it's just, it's great. And it's great for your heart, but also strength training is so, like you said, like you would tell me you're walking, I'm like, pick up the weights. Like, what's the weight?
And
what weight are you lifting?
You taught me this, which has helped me 100% with my journey of my body. You were like, you've got to lift weights, because when you get older and your body is going through the change or whatever, it's so important to have that strength. And I can remember talking to you and you're like, are you still on the treadmill? I'm like, girl, yeah, I outrun everybody. You're like, yeah, you're not. Like, this is doing nothing for you. You could do that for 30 minutes and pick up a weight.
For you.
Yes.
For you. Yes. Just so we're clear. That's for you. But I mean, it's a starting point, right?
Yeah.
And it was a starting point for you, right? And then you started, doing exercises with weights.
100%.
And then
I even bought a dumbbell.
Yep.
Like, I was like, what is that? Not a dumbbell. What is that bar? A kettlebell.
You got a kettlebell.
A kettlebell.
Yeah, I got a kettlebell.
See? I don't know.
Yeah,
I need kettlebell.
Yeah. But you were like, I was like, okay, what is that weight that you're lifting? Now it's time to bump it up. And the misconception, but the misconception is like, oh, as women, if we lift weights, we're going to start looking like a man. Well,
there's nothing looking like a man about you. Like, right? First of all, let's say that there's nothing mannish about this body. Well, like that. Yeah. Just drop the mic.
Like, you're not a man, so you're not going to look like a man. Pick up a weight. It's important. And having more muscle is just, it's good for so many, bone density, which is really important for women to have, strong bone density. There are not a lot, unfortunately, there are not a lot of studies out there for women when it comes to like strength training and hormones and all that kind of stuff. Not now to this date, but we do know that strength training helps increase bone density, and that's important, which means if you fall when you're 70, you're less likely to have a hip fracture, so it's important to lift weights for that. But also aesthetically, like you want to have a little definition and you're not going to look like a man.
Oh, yeah, that cut in that arm like you have. Yeah. I remember you saying, yeah, they don't have them guns. I'm like, yeah, no. Can I buy that? Can I get that?
Get that on a t-shirt.
I can rent one
on a t-shirt.
Can I get that? Yes.
And the other misconception too, let's go back just to talking about a woman who just had a baby and you're looking to breastfeed and have energy, like carbohydrates. So carbs get a bad rap. And when people hear carbs, they think bread and oatmeal and pasta. Well, fruit and vegetables, they're carbohydrates. That's what they are. And you need to eat those things. And it's important to have, I remember when I was breastfeeding, I would eat cereal every night. And I'm not a cereal person, but I ate it because I wanted to keep the production of my breast milk up.
Correct.
So when Kendall was born, like I had freezer full of
milk.
Yeah, of milk.
Which women have a hard time now getting their milk supply.
And you got to eat. And it's like, you have to choose your baby and making sure your baby gets what it needs. And that means if you're breastfeeding, you have to eat. And if you're exercising, you have to eat probably about 200 to 500 more calories after exercising just to keep your breast milk up. If my stats are right, I could be off on that.
And like back in the day when I would relax my hair, I had a relaxer. It was like, I can work out Monday through Friday. And Friday I'm at the salon, I'm getting my roller set. Saturday and Sunday I'm off. And then I'm back to Monday.
Yeah.
Well, the relaxer's gone.
Yes.
My hair's natural.
Yeah.
And we have to learn how to adjust to that because you have to still maintain your beauty and your physical well-being. Like you still have to maintain like your hair and still having protective hairstyles such as my braids, right? So that I can work out no matter how old you are, no matter what happens. It's like you make it work and you figure it out.
And then what is the one thing that you're going to do today as a new mom that lends itself to your well-being?
Correct.
Because I didn't do that. I don't think I looked in the mirror for probably, I don't know, after my first was born, I probably got ready, but I don't think I stopped to look in the mirror probably for like 8 months. Maybe a year. I got ready and I was like, okay. And then I would just go. I wasn't like looking in the mirror, So what is the one thing as a new mom can you do?
I think one of the really big reasons why I wanted to do this show or I wanted to get with moms, women, girls, people is because I wanted to give a really real life perspective on parenting and being a mom, not just a single mother, but every mother. I mean, we get up and we look at Jennifer Lopez that had twins. And then the week after she had twins, she was like J-Lo again, like on the concert tour. That's unrealistic for most women. And for women that aren't financially able to go get a nip and tuck or get a whatever, it kind of gets discouraging, right? Like I get discouraged when I look at people. Sometimes I'm on the internet and I look at people and I'm like, well, gosh, is she my age? Does she look like that? Well, what does she do? Like what's happening here? And it's just like, what do you say to those women when you're in that industry? How do you make them feel better or feel more confident in themselves?
Well, first, number one is like start exercising now. Start exercising now and taking care of yourself now before you get pregnant. Like prioritize yourself.
Wow, that's great.
And I just feel like a lot of times women we don't prioritize ourselves, and we have to start doing that because we are life, like period. There's really nothing to say after that,
I guess,
we are life. So number one, start exercising now. And then if you've been exercising and then you get pregnant and you continue exercising, assuming your doctor is like, okay with that. What I've experienced is because I've led a lifestyle of exercising and working out consistently is I did kind of like snap back after having the girls, but it wasn't because I'm J-Lo or because I had a nip and tuck. It's in my body's not the same as it was, for the girls. But I do think like creating a lifestyle, not an exercise lifestyle, but creating a lifestyle where you take care of yourself, you prioritize yourself, and that includes exercise, and that includes moving. That will lend itself when you do have a baby. And then afterwards.
I'm a very, very stern believer. I mean, if you know me, you know this, on moving your body.
Yeah.
I'm a very stern believer on wake up in the morning, move your body, get some sunshine, breathe in the fresh air. Look at a flower. Like I'm a very big believer on that because I feel like that generates spirituality, and that generates good health, and that generates pure thoughts. And there's nothing like nature. Like every once in a while, you got to go out and get your feet a little dirty. I mean, you might have to dig in the mud and plant something. You know me, I'm big on planting.
Yes.
But I think that even when you're bringing in that new life deserves that.
Yeah.
That baby deserves a little bit of sunshine. That baby deserves a healthy mother, a healthy and pure atmosphere where they can grow spiritually and they can develop a good sense of who they're going to be as a person. And I think that stems from the mom feeling good about herself, her body, her mind, like keeping your mind right when you had a baby. Because when that baby's crying and it's just you, there's nobody there to help you with that baby.
No.
You're looking around, you're like, oh my gosh, in heaven, like what's happening right now, right? You can't explain that to a new mom. You can prepare them for that. You can't explain that. You can't explain having 27 things to do and still saying, oh, better get a protein shake, or I better get, my thing when I had my kids was put them on me and start walking. Put them on me and get moving. Put them on me and do something. Just trying to keep myself motivated every single solitary day, because I felt like I had to be the best me for them, if that makes sense.
And maybe the love that you have for your child, because this is your niece and I were talking about this yesterday. It's like having a baby is a love you have never ever felt in your entire life. Like I don't think I can put it into words, because it's just overwhelming how much you love this little person.
And what you will and you will not do.
Yeah.
Right. I think that we talk about this a lot, and there are so many mothers that get to a breaking point where they're like, I really can't do this anymore, because they don't realize when they're carrying the baby and it looks all good and they're trying to get themselves back in order, how difficult it is. Everybody can talk about, oh, after I have the baby, I'm gonna do this. After I have the baby, I'm about to do this. I'm about to do this. You don't know what you're gonna do after you have that baby, because you're up at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
You're figuring out how to feed that child. You're figuring out where your mind is, right? Like postpartum depression is a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing, right? You're just trying to figure out who to be, how to be, and how to be a good mother. What's the definition of a good mother?
Well, put that on top of, just to kind of circle it back around to like celebrities, right? And you see a celebrity who had a baby 2 weeks ago and now they're on the cover of whatever. And it's these unrealistic expectations.
Well, and because they have a team.
Well, right. But it's like, but you have a mom, but you have a new mom, and she's looking at the cover of this magazine, or she's flipping through the editorial, whatever. And she's like comparing herself. And I think that's where we fall short, because we don't see the beauty in ourselves. Correct. We're so busy comparing ourselves to other people that we forget to look at what we bring to the table.
And other people that have someone to help them raise their baby and cook their food and make their meal plan and get their makeup done.
And it's their job.
100%.
Like looking good is their job.
100%. I think one person that I really, really love, and she doesn't have kids and she's not a mom, but she's an amazing auntie, is like a Tracy Ellis Ross, right? She takes care of herself. She takes care of who she is. Like she takes care of herself in the moment, what she's doing, her brother's kids, her sister's kids. She's like the auntie of the year, and she never even had a kid, right? But I think that she's so focused on trying to take that inner outer that it's amazing. And when young girls have the auntie or the sister or the other person, where they have somebody to lean on once they've had that baby, that says to them, hey, don't worry, give yourself some time. You're going to bounce back. That body's going to come back. You'll get in those genes. But how about this? If you don't get in those genes,
you're still valued.
Look what you did. You won. You've got a beautiful baby. You had a whole ass human. Like a whole ass human.
Which is a miracle.
What? It's a human being.
Literally.
Like I think one day Joel Osteen was saying, I think I told you this, that there was a dog, and the dog was having puppies, and the elephant. And the dog's looking at the elephant like, having one baby. I done had all these babies. And the elephant is like, look, I'm a whole ass elephant. Like, right?
Wait,
all this greatness.
Joel Osteen's a whole ass?
No, he didn't say ass. Look, but the elephant is like, oh, look at all this greatness. Look at all this greatness, right?
Right.
And
totally.
Even the elephant realized I'm still mama, right? I can't change who I am. I can't change what I do. This is who I am. This is what it is. And I think that we have to, like, if you go up a bigger size in your jeans, it's okay, right?
It doesn't define you.
And having a baby is the biggest blessing on earth. Creating life, right? I mean, I'm sure Eve wasn't like, what do I look like? I'm sure Eve wasn't walking around talking about, what do I look like? Like,
Yeah.
am I okay?
You just need to be realistic and just surround yourself, to your point, surround yourself with people who support you, but are honest, that get you up to take care of yourself. Because you talk about postpartum depression, you know, it hits women, some women really hard to where they can't even take care of their babies. And that's a real thing. So being able to have a support system around you, so have people around you that love you, that care about you, and know what really matters. But it takes time.
It takes a village.
It takes a village, and it takes time.
A village. It takes a village
to heal
and
physically.
And again, I can't reiterate this more. I told my niece, like, when she was going into this, or I would tell the same thing to my daughter. You give yourself at least 30 days. 30 days. Because that first 30 days isn't about you. It's about that baby. It's about that baby getting that immune system up. It's about that baby getting breastfed. It's about that baby waking up. It's about getting that baby on a schedule. It's about that baby.
Yeah.
It's really not about you. And then you have to learn to love you regardless. Like, you don't sleep. You're eating as you're going. You got to clean. You got to learn how to change diapers when you never have. Like, right? It's just so much into this. Packing the diaper bag, getting all that prepared.
Yeah. And it takes about 66 weeks to create a habit. So when you have a new baby, it's like, and babies change. So the minute you get it down, you move on to the next thing. So be flexible. Like, be flexible.
It's like, oh, I got on a 3-month onesie. Yeah, that ain't gonna last long. I got a newborn to 3 months. That ain't gonna happen, right? It's just,
be flexible.
And you know, the financial burden that it has on single mothers. Like, again, that's another show. But the financial stress that it has on single mothers, and it costs a lot of money to eat healthy. Like, we could talk about that too.
I was thinking it costs a lot of money to buy diapers.
Yeah.
That's what I thought about when you said financial burden.
But just think about your diet. It costs a lot of money to eat healthy. Like, it's easy to go through and get a quick fix.
I don't know. I think people can eat healthy on a budget.
Okay.
Maybe that's another show.
Give me an example.
But I think people can eat healthy on a budget.
Okay,
so if you're talking about eating fresh fruit or organic fruit, instead of buying it fresh, you buy it frozen. And then there you have frozen. If you make your chia seed pudding or yogurt, you put frozen berries in it rather than fresh berries. And
that's a great idea.
Like, there are ways to eat healthy that
because
it's not
I never
expensive.
buy frozen fruit.
You can buy organic frozen fruit, berries, and have it in your freezer. Or you buy the big thing of organic spinach from Costco that's fresh. And then we're going to bleep out
Costco, right?
Oh, yeah. We have half, that goes into your refrigerator for like whatever, salads, whatever. The other half goes in your freezer for smoothies.
I think that's great information for our single moms.
And you can make stuff in advance if you have the time for it. And if you're making it with your baby, like while it's in the oven, you hold your baby, you do squats and lunges or whatever.
That makes so much sense. You know why that makes sense, Dina? Because I could buy a bunch of fresh fruit, especially when Gracie's not at home and she's at school. And then I go back in the refrigerator, it's bad. So if I bought it frozen.
Or you buy it and you freeze it. Like I'll get organic strawberries and I chop them up and I'll have half in the refrigerator, the other half I put in the freezer.
Okay, so we're going to do a show on making those smoothies with that frozen fruit.
Yeah, I love smoothies. It's quick and it's easy. And I mean, I prefer chewing your food, but and
I'm so into getting it fresh, making it now, that sometimes it's wasteful.
Sometimes freeze it. Wasteful. Put it in the freezer.
Why do I hate my postpartum body but feel guilty saying it?
Oh, well, one of the reasons you hate your postpartum body is because it's new and nobody likes change. So you will get used to it and you will adapt to it, and just focus on taking care of your baby because that's what matters most. And just be realistic and do a little something every day to prioritize yourself.
How do I dress this body? Nothing fits me right.
Well, with athleisure, you can kind of band-aid anything. I'm not one to show my body a lot, right? So if I gain a little weight, I can hide it. If I lose some weight, you probably never know because I just like bigger clothes. And so you can take a loose at the top, a tight at the bottom. So I either wear one or the other.
Yeah.
I don't wear all tight. I'm either in a tight pair of pants and a loose shirt, or loose pants and a tight shirt. And I think that's a really good way to hide whatever you have going on. You could take a big sweatshirt or a big shirt, put on some little cowboy boots, add some shorts, and you're great. Or if you want to accentuate your waistline, just kind of belt a little top, put on some heels or some boots or some, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think leggings are great with a big top. It's just, you got to figure out your niche and how to hide some of the flaws, right? Like if you have a bigger waistline, you're not going to wear a really tight shirt with some really tight pants because you're going to have rolls hanging over, right? So you can fluctuate that. You can like put on a crisp white shirt with some leggings, throw on some sunglasses, put a great bag on, lip gloss, and you're rolling.
Always lip gloss.
Always lip gloss.
Yeah.
And a hoop. A hoop helps. A hoop helps.
Is it okay to want plastic surgery after having a baby?
Well, I think that, having plastic surgery after having a baby, I've actually worked with clients that have had tummy tucks right after having a baby. And I think it's a personal choice.
Correct.
Definitely. If it's going to be something that will make you feel good for you, like it's not something you're doing to please the people around you, then, by all means, keeping in mind though, now you're going back under the knife after having a baby and the recovery process that goes along with that. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it if it serves you in a way that's positive. But I also think that, there are ways to feel good about yourself without having surgery again.
Correct.
But no, if someone wants to have plastic surgery and it serves them in a way that's positive and empowers them, then by all means, go for it.
I agree. I think that plastic surgery is a personal decision. I had a hysterectomy or partial hysterectomy. It was the worst pain I ever felt in my whole entire life. And trust me, I want to have plastic surgery. I want to get it all done. I'm not doing that again.
Right.
Simply because of the pain.
Yeah.
The pain for me is something that I will never forget. Do I want to stay good looking and fine, and I'm never going to be perfect, but feeling good about myself? Yes. So that just means I have to stay in the gym a little longer. That means that I can't eat those late night snacks like I was, right? So that means I have to balance my diet and my exercise to look the way I want to look. Or, there's other things that your doctor can do to help you to look the way you want to look without going under the knife.
Yeah. Yep. Exercise and nutrition for sure. Step one.
And a shot. I know you don't want me to say that. I know you don't want me to say that.
A shot of what?
I know you don't want me to say that, but we'll talk about that on another show.
No shots. Unless you're talking about B12.
Mm-hmm. And that too. A B12 shot is great too, right? A B12 shot, a lipo
if it's recommended by your doctor,
a lipo
you have to say that part.
But I have to say, for me, as I got older, I know you were mad at me when I told you I took the shot.
I know.
I took Zepbound and I feel great. And I know you were mad. I know you thought it was bad.
I wasn't. First of all, what I thought was it was unnecessary because it wasn't that. And this is kind of in line with this topic right here. Is like, if it makes you feel good, like if it affects you like positively and it's something you want to do for yourself, cool. But I didn't like it because I didn't think that it was necessary for you, but you felt like you wanted to do that.
Well, because I felt like I hit a plateau at my age. I hit like a plateau. I don't think I was ever big. Like, I don't think I was ever, I just wanted to, grandma used to call it get back at my fighting weight. Like, I wanted to get back at my fighting weight, right? Like, I wanted to get back to where I felt better and more confident in myself. And so I was like, I went to my physician, I spoke to her, I went through the counseling and everything else, and I tried it. And I think it helped me to get to where I needed to be.
I mean, I think there's a time and a place for it, right? I feel there are people who definitely benefit from using GLP-1,
100%.
like no doubt about it. I think but I also believe that the medical community has kind of like have been passing it out to people who don't really necessarily need it. Now, your doctor is an exception because your doctor, talked to you about exercise and lifting weights and nutrition and the importance of that. But some doctors aren't doing that.
Well, what's happening right now is they're stopping that. They're going to stop GLPs from being distributed from just anybody. Now you have to go to the big pharma, which I don't want to say, but it's true. You got to go to the big pharma to get it because you got to need it. Like, it's helping with so many things. It's helping with addiction. It's helping with pre-diabetics. It's helping with a lot of things. And let's talk about.
Well, that was no. So GLP-1 is for diabetics. Like, that's where it all started. It was never a weight loss. It all started with people who have diabetes, and that's where that all came into play.
Correct.
GLP-1s came on the scene basically because they were prescribed for diabetics, and then they realized that the weight loss side of it, and then it started kind of being touted more as like a weight loss prescription, so to speak, which is why your doctor was able to prescribe it for you. So I think that there are people there. I think there's a real demographic out there that would benefit from using GLP-1. I think there are people that have metabolic issues where there's a concern they're not able to lose weight. I think there are people that really need that little extra little kind of kick to get it going. And then I think that there are people that abuse it, and I think that we don't know the true ramifications of GLP-1 if we're using it just for weight loss for a long period of time. Like, we don't know the real ramifications. We do know that it causes people lose muscle. We do know that. There have been studies that show that. We do know that it does affect stomach emptying, so digestion. We do know that. So there are just certain things scientifically that are still being studied. So, like I said initially, like if it's something that helps you feel good and it kind of gets you over the hump, that's one way to look at it. And then there are people who really do need it metabolically because they're not able, maybe something going on in their body where they're not able to people with insulin. Like I said, that all started with people who are diabetic. So I think there are people that really do need GLP-1. I just hope our medical community can give it to people who really do need it.
I feel like I agree with all that. There's no way I couldn't agree with that. But I feel like we live in a nation full of obesity. I think that we live in a nation where lasciviousness has taken over. I think we live in a nation where our food is processed. I think our food is full of so many things that even sometimes when you are trying to lose, you can't lose because it's so much processed stuff in the food. I think that we in America have so much to figure out when it comes to health and nutrition, right? We're the only country that basically our healthcare sucks. Like, right, you can go to any other country in the world and you can get healthcare. It's very hard for you to get healthcare or good healthcare in America, right? It's very limiting and it costs a lot of money. I do feel like the shot costs a lot of money. I do feel like people are abusing the shot. And again, that's a choice. Like, if you know you're 110 pounds and you still taking the shot, then that's something wrong. Like, right? Come on now. Like, I'm not meant to be my 25-year-old daughter's size. And I'm not trying to be. I'm just trying to feel good about me. But I think that we have children that are suffering from obesity. We have adults that are suffering from obesity. And by all means, if the shot is a way to help you to get where you need to be, I understand. I also understand your perspective because this is what you do and this is what you do for a living. But for me, when it comes to the children or the people that have mental issues that are eating for loneliness and eating for other reasons, I'm okay with the shot, right? Yes, I know that at some point you don't need to take it for the rest of your life. I know that it's not meant for everybody. I know that. For me, it's just a personal choice for me to get back where I wanted to be, to get back into the clothes that I had in my closet that I wasn't going to rebuy, right? I knew that. And it's helped me in a lot of ways. I get the empty stomach. I get the digestion. I get the lifting weights. And that's why I'm lifting them. right? I'm lifting them so that I can be a better me. I want to be here for my grandkids. I want to be here for your grandkids, right? I want to be here for all of it, right? And I'm going to do the things that I need to do to get there. And so many people, God always sees what's in the dark. That's your character. So if you're abusing it and you don't need it anymore, and you've reached to the point where you're where you need to be and your levels are right, then stop taking it, right? I can't speak to that part of the nation that is abusing it and wanting to be a size whatever. I'm happy where I'm at, right? And there's always going to be somebody younger, thinner, and finer. It's okay.
You have a level of discipline that some people don't have, though. And so people taking GLP-1, I think that we need to incorporate behavior modification. Like, how do we get to the root cause of what's happening? Is it a physical? Is it emotional? Is it, what
it is?
Well, it depends on the person, because I'm not going to put it, nobody's going to go, people don't go in silos. I mean, people do go in silos in this situation, because I feel like it's based on the person that's in front of us. So I think that and we need to figure that out.
We also, not to cut off that thought, right? Our young girls are living in a social media era.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to be beautiful. I mean, we can get into, this is a whole nother show. We're getting into young girls that are 12 years old doing skincare regimens, right? Everybody 12 isn't supposed to do a face mask. Like, I didn't do a face mask when I was 12, right? So that's a whole nother story, because we're talking about your mental well-being and what you're looking in the mirror and seeing, and what you're getting out of what you see in that mirror.
But don't you think that's where the unrealistic expectations start for girls? Like 9-year-old girls wanting to diet and think they need to look a certain way at 9 years old, when they have all this baby fat really through their teens, through high school. It's just unrealistic expectations that we carry within ourselves from when we're little girls all the way until we're in high school and college and married, and then we're pregnant, and all these unrealistic expectations are thrown on us. The reality of it, though, is for women, I feel like we have more pressure on us than the men do. And also men, when it comes to just studies in general, like the studies that are done on heart disease or hormones, or it's mostly, those studies are done mostly on men. So women, we're just like underserved in that area across the board.
And I'm not disagreeing with that.
We're underserved, but then we're also held at a higher expectation.
I think the high expectation on women is the hidden expectation for men. I think men hide their expectations. I think men hide the fact that they want to stay young and they want to stay relevant. If we did a study and we asked ourselves, I think just as many men do Botox as women. That's my opinion. You can get a 56-year-old woman or a 60-year-old woman, and look at Angela Bassett. They just did Angela Bassett. She just went viral for a scene in some sweatpants. And Angela Bassett is phenomenal.
I was just going to say the word phenomenal,
right?
Actually.
She's phenomenal.
She is.
Right? She's phenomenal. So women are aging amazing. And I think that men don't want to say it, or they don't want to talk about it. It's a fear. It's a fear. They ain't as fine as they was, right? Like, I just think women get better with time.
You don't want to say any names.
I don't.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of The Pickup Line.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch us.
And listen to us on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.